there, it's Raina with Lilo Crafts, and I am really excited about my share today because it is the first time that I have done an altered book journal. So I made a Christmas junk journal, yes, and it is the perfect combination of beautiful Christmas items as well as found items, so turning junk trash to treasures in here, and it has beautiful vintage elements as well. So I hope you like it as much as I do. And so won't you just join me as we take a flip through of the pages? And before we do that, I would so appreciate it if you would give this video a thumbs up, if you are liking my content, and comments are so fun to read, and I want to thank you to all of you who have subscribed to my channel and all of my new subscribers. So let's go ahead and take a look. And this is a Christmas journal and or a Christmas junk journal, I should say. And so I use this incredible book. It is called Shepherd's Abiding. What I love about it is it's a story of a retired pastor wanting to make a special present for his wife, and he ends up making a nativity. And because of that, some of the pictures that are in this book and some of the writings represent the true meaning of Christmas, which is Jesus's birth. So I left those in the book. So I'm happy to share them with you. So here's my front cover, and I used some vintage lace from Dale of Not Too Shabby Chic store, and this journal is a combination of some more vintagey things as well as more modern things, because I like both of those things together. So I wanted to capture that on the cover. So vintage lace, but modern paper, and hello, it's the most wonderful time of the year, which Christmas is my most favorite time of the year. And this is a piece of paper. This is not vintage. This is actually from a scrapbook paper called North Pole, and it talks about the story of Santa on here, which is really wonderful. I stitched around it. I put some gold paint around it, metallic, and I added some sweet book corners, just some gold to add just a little bit of jewelry. And you can see on this side here, I've got alligator mouth. That is for sure. Let me flip over onto the back. There again are the book corners. And this truly is a vintage piece of music. I believe it's from the 1920s. This is a big page from a scrapbook pad. And then I added this beautiful crocheted piece up here, and that is from Dale of Not Too Shabby Chic store too, you guys. She has so many vintage things, and she could help you with anything that you are looking for. Okay, so let me go ahead and open this up. Here is the first page of the book. Isn't that beautiful? It's about the town called Mitford, and so that is a picture of the church from the town. And then when you open it up, it says Shepherd's Abiding. And I wanted to highlight the title page. So I did not put anything on here. I just put a plaid paper and a little bit of vintage book page and this beautiful embellishment. And you can add anything you want to this. But here's my first page. And so I've got little snowman paper with the trucks. I made a side tuck. I put a sweet holly leaf on here. It's all inked. I made coordinating components, so a large tag with a lot of tulle tied with baker's twine, and a little snowman stamp that I vintaged up, and also another coordinating snowman one on the back of a sticker. And then I've got this sweet little candy cane and a slide out tag, and this is from dictionary, vintage dictionary page and old papers, and I put a tab on there, and I made this parchment bag. And this little candy cane is from a bag from the Dollar Tree. Yes, the Dollar Tree this year. I got it this year. Okay, so those slide in there. And then when you move over here onto this next page, I have this little tuck. I've got a Christmas tree that I made. This is vintage paper and it is from 1939. It says right on there, here's just a little parchment paper to tuck in where you can journal. And then when you flip up, look, it's got a little vintage Santa, and then you pull this on down, and I've lined that with a little bit of ribbon. So beautiful, beautiful place to write, and you can add your pictures or more writing on there. I've got vintage lace down the side, and I made this little dangle. I put on this bulb pin. Thank you, Crafts and Tea with JanetKay gave me this bulb pin, and I'll put a link to her channel in the description below. And it says Noel. Isn't that so sweet? And I have these vintage beads. Okay, so when you turn the page, you can see over here, I've got a muted snowflake paper, and I put this awesome wiggly wool ribbon up here, as well as lace to top the paper clip. And then in this, I made a little parchment bag, and I've got some punched out snowflakes, so you can go ahead and decorate this page if you would like, right over here. And here is the title page of the book, The Mitford Years and Shepherd's Abiding. And then when you turn the page, look at this. Is this not adorable? Look at that little gingerbread girl, and she's holding a hot cocoa mug, and I used fabric paint on the marshmallows to make them look more realistic. She's got glitter, she has angel wings, and she coordinates with this beautiful gingerbread paper in the background, and I fussy cut one of the mugs out to match, to coordinate with her. And then I've got some paper right here, and this tucks right underneath, and this is inked up with brown and red. It says Frosty's Diner as the closure, and then you flip it open and you can write or put pictures or tickets or whatever you're doing on there. Okay, then I have to the honor and glory of the child, Emmanuel, God with us. So I wanted to leave that, and it's got like a star under here. And so again, one of Dale's beautiful treasures right there. Isn't that a beautiful star? Oh, crocheted star. Okay, so when you turn the page, I cut this image out of an old book, and I have vintage typewritten paper in the back. I've got a little piece of lace that's from JanetKay. I made some marked up paper, and then this picture has a button, and I wanted to coordinate, so I added 2 more real buttons. So it's 1 in the picture and 2 there. And this is an envelope that flips open along with a journaling card. This is depression glass picture. Again, all layered up. I've got a ticket as a tab, and it's all inked up on the back, as well as Distress Oxide sprayed. So I think that is so sweet. That tucks right on in there, and there's plenty of room to put more. And then I thought this handcrafted with peppermint candy label would be so pretty on top of that sweet paper. Then on this side, I have this wonderful happy currant paper with mittens and hats and stockings, and I stitched around the edges of it, and I added this beautiful red pom-pom trim over here. And on the other side is this sweet nutcracker paper with a little bit of gold sparkle and shine. Again, I stitched around it, and then this happened to land right on this, which is an angel with 1. And I went around the edges with that metallic paint in a rough style. And over here, I incorporated the book jacket. So this is the book jacket, Shepherd's Abiding, and inside the book is the Christmas story right there from Luke 2. So I wanted to highlight that, so I just added some metallic gold paint. And then when you turn the page, we've got this beautiful side tuck over here with vintage lace. again from Dale. And then this is packaging that I cut out, this branch and this ornament. I put a double bow of baker's twine over here. And then this is holly that I altered up, and then I added these berries inside of there. And then I've got two inserts. So this one is from a vintage 1980s highlights magazine. It's a nursery rhyme, and you can totally write on the inside or celebrate that. I have that tied with a beautiful olive green bow, and so that tucks right on in. And then this right here, I stitched around this with zigzag stitching, and then when you open it up, it's a huge journaling spot. Isn't that awesome? And so you just close that back up. And oh, and on the outside, it has depression glass. I just thought that was so perfect for Christmas. So that slides right on in there. Then I've got beautiful ornament page with glitter, and again, stitching around the edges. And then on this side, I have a different kind of stitching over here. And you can see that I have this tied up with some bias tape as well as some lace. And then I have this sweet gingerbread house. And I have a tutorial on how I made these, so I'll put a link to that in the description below in case you want to make one, all made with a junk mail envelope. Yes, junk mail. And then when you pull it out, it has vintage paper covered on the front with a red tab and a place for journaling on the back. But wouldn't this be so great to stencil on the front, or put pictures, or programs, anything like that you like, a recipe. I think that would be fantastic as a recipe. And so to match that gingerbread, I wanted gingerbread paper over here. And then I have another bulb pin from Crafts and Tea with JanetKay. And then I can't remember who gave me this very sweet dangle with a peppermint, but I wanted to tie that peppermint right into the paper. And these are vintage little beads. These little gold beads are vintage. Okay, when you turn it over, I have a Christmas tree, and I found this on some junk mail advertising, and I backed it and I fussy cut it out. And then this is like linen paper, and it is just folded up and inked on up to make a beautiful and large size journaling spot, or anything that you would like to put in there. You guys, if you don't like journaling, you could put quotes. You could put things that you like about Christmas, or memories of what you did in the past. There's so many things that you can put in a journal. Again, your favorite recipes. Okay, over here, I have Santa Claus paper because Santa is delivering the presents under the tree. I've got beautiful vintage lace, crocheted lace over here, and I've got a book page layered up with a fussy cut Santa to tie. This is a fabric tab this time, and Santa also fills your stockings, which is why I added that stocking as the little adornment. And then inside here, I have two items. So look at this little tag. I love this gold, and again, this lace, and this is all layered up, collaged up, and I used red and brown inking this time. And then inside here, I made a bake shop ticket, and then I have two little fabric remnants over here that I use pinking shears to cut the edges, and then it has a beautiful tag on the inside as well. Look at this. Cookies for Santa, all tied together, and beautiful way to journal on the back on top of all the vintage papers. As you turn the page, I made this little vellum pocket with, I put this gold glitter trim right on here, and then I made this tag, and this is from another beautiful image. This one is from an old book page, and I tore it, inked around the edges, and then I thought this plaid paper would go so great, and I wanted to tie in that gold, so I added a little bit of gold trim and a little gold flower on the edge, and again, fully beautiful to journal on or on the back. And then look, a whole page right here where you can write on, journal on, color, have your kids color, make their, or your grandkids draw a picture for you. Wouldn't that be so fun to look back on? And I framed it with this beautiful gold trim. Oh, I just love the way that that looks. And then over here, I have, look at the stitching. I did this. I thought it looked like sweater, like cable knit stitching on a sweater. So that was so fun to do. I have a snowman that I stamped and watercolored up. And then I have this junk mail envelope that I turned into a window. And I've got this little adornment, embellishment over here. And so when you close it, there you see the snowman through the window over there. And on this side, it says joy. I have a little heart embellishment. And then I put red embroidery floss to tie those. And then so you can see through the window on both sides, which I love. So I've got that coordinating snowman paper over here, as well as some white pom-pom fringe. And so what I did was turn it into two different pockets. So here is my first pocket over here. And this is, again, linen paper, I believe. And then I tied this vintage bias tape to it, and I dovetailed the ends, and it's all inked, and that slides right on in on this side. And then on this side of the page, I put double pockets. And so they have the little cuts, and these are library cards. Aren't those cute? And then this one has a snowflake, and I even have a little flower on the back side and the front side as a whole reinforcer. I got that idea from Dale of Not Too Shabby Chic. And then on this one, I put a star. Can you see that? And then I do have a snowflake on the bottom of this library card as well. And this one has polka dotted ribbon. And then I have a candy cane page, and this is a tuck right here, this flag, all with these sweet little jemmies. They're little pearl flatbacks on this side. And to coordinate, I added this peppermint candy page with a parchment bag. And then this is a giant tag flip. So when you open it like this, it's got little papers over here. These are coffee date papers that I made. And it has a little recipe card over here with a little snowman. And then it has vintage music page over here on this side. And I stenciled this little hat with the fluffy ball on it. And then I even to attach this envelope, put book page, as well as another embellishment on the back. And then when you turn the next page, I've got a CD holder that I embossed. Can you see that that is snow? It is snow, and it matches this cartoon on a dog getting caught up in the snow. And so I thought that was so sweet. And I used black and red to tie this paper clip on this time to tie in with these darker colors. So this is like a more masculine page layout. I have a fun activity from the Highlights magazine. This is 1982 vintage, where you try to find how many differences there are between the two pictures, and beautiful paper on the back for journaling. And I have this great truck paper right over there. And then on this side, I've got that plaid paper. And then this is from a vintage quilting book that teaches you how to quilt. I made a paper ruffle over here, and then this is an index card that you journal on, and a vintage book page that I turned into a pocket, and I added washi tape on it. And I added this awesome red ruffle trim. Oh, I love, love, love that trim. And then when you flip the page, I have a green plaid with red. And again, I stitched around the edges of that. And I have a pocket over here, and it is a two-sided pocket. So this is all made with depression glass and a Christmas card that was used for a photo card. And inside I made a fabric tree journal spot. So I stitched around the edge. I used the pinking shears. I've got two different kinds of fabric in there. So I wanted to tie the tree into the tree into the tree. And then when you go on this side, it is a tuck. And I just have this sweet little tag with some burlap, and this is plain red paper that I did stitch all the way around. Then I have this little mitten, and this I colored in with alcohol ink markers and highlighted with white Jelly Roll pen. And I used a vintage index card for this. And this time I folded over the trim so that it would show on the other side. And I have a vintagey looking Santa sticker, and then I just inked him up so he would look more vintage, as well as inked around the edges for the B for the tab. Then we're almost to the end, you guys. I've got this sweet paper. Oh, I loved that. And I just added a little crocheted little snowflake up there in the corner. I have this over the page journal spot over here, or you could put a picture on there. This is all coffee dyed paper. And then inside here, I've got a pocket, and I've got a gingerbread tree all glittered up. It's dimensional. I have stitching around the pocket. And this is from a vintage recipe book that, again, Dale gave me. I put this great burlap ribbon on it with stitching. And then inside, it's a folio. Right, and then I've got 2 recipes in here. And I added that same trim onto the bottom. And then on this side, look, it has this beautiful tassel trim. It has white tassel trim. Ah, I love, love, love that. And I stitched around the edges with this, and then here is the over-the-top page with a vintage quilting pattern and a child who is making a bow onto a present there. And then this just says, you know, joy. This is really fun paper inked around the edges with another sweet antique embellishment on the bottom. Then when you turn the page, this is from the back book jacket, and so I cut out this house and I wanted it to really shine, so I just did a plain, this is like a matte gold finish that I stitched around the edges, and I put these beautiful corner trims. And then what I did was I used some recycled tissue paper, and this is that see-through cellophane tissue paper, and then I punched out a glitter snowflake to tie in with those snowflakes on there. Ah, love that. And then this is a sweet Christmas story from a Highlights magazine about selecting your Christmas tree. I tied that with baker's twine, and I again have another one of these sweet little paper clips to hold it all in. It's got ho 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 paper, and then when you turn to the last page, look, it ends in the beautiful birth of Jesus Christ. So this is the scene of Jesus lying in the manger. That is my book. Please tell me what you think. This is my first altered book journal, and it was so fun to make. I'm in the process of making another one right now. So thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye-bye.